by my attorney. He stated none of those factors. And like I said earlier, the claims that I had given to him, he removed those claims and asserted the claims that he wanted to be there to make my case less real, less important. And so what I'm saying today is that I was violated of my rights with my employer, and I was violated of my rights here as I stand in front of the Pierce County Superior Court. I'm here today because this is where all of this took place. When I filed my lawsuit against my attorney, I was scheduled to have a hearing 12 months later. I filed it on March 3rd, 2021. When I filed my claims and I told my story, my case was then assigned, and when it was assigned, I didn't get a hearing. My attorney filed a motion to dismiss my claim, and he said he was dismissing my claim because there was no genuine issues. A motion for summary judgment says that if there's no genuine issues, the motion for summary judgment stands. But it also says that when there's genuine issues of dispute, those claims, that the motion for summary judgment cannot be granted. The motion, I responded in opposition to the motion, and I showed genuine issue. A genuine issue to me, and not just to me, but to the court, is when someone does not give a discovery into a case. When a federal judge says that your attorney did not take discovery into your case, that's an issue. That's an issue. It's a serious issue, because that means that I need to now know in the court of law, why did you not represent the items, the causes of actions that I gave to you against the Boeing company? And when those issues doesn't get brought to court for hearing, then you're violated of your right to be heard. I wasn't heard. The U.S. Constitutional grants that every person has the right to a hearing and to a jury. The judge in this case did not follow the law. The judge in this case did not do according to what his oath was, and that is to be fair and to be impartial. I wasn't heard. And because I wasn't heard, I wasn't treated fair, and my rights were violated. So I'm here to say that I want my disputed issues to be recognized. Not only that, the case against the Boeing company was because of discrimination. In the state of Washington, Washington law against discrimination is against the law to treat anyone in a discriminatory way. And I was treated in a discriminatory way because of my race. Being African American, I didn't get to stand up and have my time in court. I filed for a jury trial. I paid for a jury trial. I should have been given the rights to that. Not only that, the case was not scheduled for a hearing for 8 months out. this Superior Court judge made a decision on my case immediately. No hearing. There was no hearing, as I stated. I was not heard. I'm working in an environment where I'm treated less than, and that's not right. The federal court judge said that all my attorney needed to get from me were statements of me saying how I was treated different from my Caucasian counterparts. He said it didn't even matter if it was true, but what it mattered is that I needed to have that stated, that I was treated differently. He said a court of law would determine whether it's true or not. I didn't get the opportunity for that to take place. Once the judge made a decision, and he didn't hear my case, and there was no hearing, I filed an appeal, a notice of appeal with the Court of Appeals. In my opening brief to the Court of Appeals, I stated, because when you take a case from a trial court to the Court of Appeals, it has to be based on the errors of the judge. I showed that the judge erred, and the number one error that it was is that I did not get a hearing. I did not have my constitutional rights met. The Court of Appeals, after reviewing my opening brief, stated that I did not show any errors. They said I didn't show any errors. I have documents that I would like to be reviewed so that it can be shown that I showed errors. I didn't come this far to not do what I needed to do, because every step of the way in my representation as a pro se, I've had to write several briefs. I wrote the brief that was the complaint that initiated my complaint at this court. I then got served a summary judgment from my then attorney, and he served the summary judgment, and it was improper timing. I had to respond to his summary judgment to show my opposition and to show my genuine issues that I actually showed at this court. I then had to file a confirmation of joinder with all of the issues to list everything that happened as to the reason why I was in court. After doing all of that work, I'm being told that I didn't show the errors. When the court said that I didn't show the errors, I then had to file a new lawsuit. And I filed a lawsuit with the federal court against the judge. This wasn't something that I wanted to do, but in order to have my rights, in order to be heard, I had to file a lawsuit against the Superior Court judge who wronged me. A Superior Court judge, to me, is a person who has an oath to do what's right. And when that's not happening, it takes away and it violates my rights. And I wrote and I showed to the federal court in my complaint that I was deprived of my civil rights and that I was deprived of my constitutional rights. And even in doing so, I'm going to stop there because this case has now continued to the U.S. Court of Appeals in San Francisco. And I am working within the time frame for being able to present that new appeal. But what I want to say today is that I'm standing up and I'm doing something today that I never thought I would have to do. Because I am an honest person. I pay my taxes on time. I've not committed any crime. I've been an upstanding citizen. I've done right. I've served in ministry. I give to the poor. I do what is right. And I never thought that I would have to be standing here today to tell my truth, because my truth has been created to be a narrative that it's not. As I stated, I worked at my job for over 30 years, and I had to leave that job because of the anxiety that I went through having to be there. And so it was recommended by my doctors to not return. And the reason they said not to return is because if things were not made right, it's going to only get worse for you to return back to that job. And I didn't go back. So my appeal today is for people that are in my same situation to be able to know where to go to get the help that you need. Because I thought that I would get the help when I came here. Because my understanding of the judicial system is to be about what's right and what's correct and to be fair. But that's not what I experienced. I experienced seeing those that are in power to do what's right. I saw them turn a situation to the way and to get the outcome that they wanted, but not to do what's supposed to do according to the laws. I need help, and I'm asking for my story to be told. And so if you're out there and you're hearing me today, I'm asking for an opportunity to be able to tell my story so that my story is heard outside of the state of Washington. Because as I've gone through as I've journeyed through the system, I've seen a repeat of wrong. And I want things to be made right. I want justice. I want justice. And again, my name is Deborah Osborn, and I thank you for listening to